Hello, everyone, and welcome to Learn From Us podcast. My name is Seth. This is Paul. This very incredibly sexy gentleman across from me is a dear friend of mine, Mike Salone, DJ Axcess. Mike, you drove all the way up here from Columbus. Thank you for being here, my lovely friend. How are you?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm so excited. I was listening to the podcast all the way up. Some great episodes on there, some great food for thought, and I'm just ready to obviously meet Paul and then chop
We've
it up
met
with
before.
Unfortunately, he wasn't listening to our podcast. He was listening to Joe Rogan. That's why he's saying all these kind words. But so you two have met at our...
Well, in passing.
So Paul went to our Christmas party that we have.
Last year.
And Mike is kind enough to be the DJ for our Christmas party that, like our family party, we have friends over. And
here we go.
Minute one.
But Paul, you're a little... When we put you in like a party environment, you're kind of close-knit to yourself a smidge.
Well, so first off, I didn't know anybody there, basically. I had just met, like, Harry.
You're right. Okay, sorry.
And Ryan, all those guys. But two...
I would act the same exact way then if I went to a party and I didn't know much.
Plus, I do identify with the whole introvert thing. Even though I'm very outgoing, I feel most comfortable in smaller groups.
Well, this isn't about you. Even though I brought that up. Mike is... So, Mike, our history. I always try this. I do a very poor introduction of who you are, and then you can lead in with what I messed up with. But so I met Mike at a wedding 4 years ago.
4 years ago?
4 years ago. And so my wife and I, Beth, have photographed about 200 weddings in Columbus and beyond, all the way to Alaska.
I think you've been saying
Florida.
that number for a year now, by the way.
Well, it's about.
I think you need to up that number.
Well, I mean, we only do 18, so it went from like
makes sense.
85 to 200-ish.
Carry on.
So thank you, Paul, for the checks and balances. Isn't he great, Focus?
I'm Fox News, checks and balances.
Oh, yes. And so, but we had done so many weddings. And on the tiers of like cheesy vendors, typically number one is the photographer. Like,
I think the DJ is always the cheesiest.
I agree with you, DJs.
Oh, 100%.
DJ is the cheesiest.
Because they're out in front the most. They have the most opportunity to be cheesy, I think.
Right, you're right. Because they have the mic and they can say stupid things and have a lot of fuck ups. So like I had just not seen many DJs that like really like blew my skirt up. You know what I mean? It was just like, okay, this guy shows up. This is the gist. They open up a MacBook. They have a couple speakers on the poles. And they press play to hang on Sloopy. They press play, and when the dance floor clears out, they don't stop that song. They keep that song going for another 4 minutes till everyone leaves. Then they try and fire it back up with one of the crowd favorites. And I was like, gosh, man, like. So anyway, I saw this cat, and Paul, you have seen him live. He basically shows up with like enough equipment to like have a Kiss concert. You know, it's just like, and he spins in these mixing boards, and obviously they're not, which I didn't know, is like they're not like real records. We're not like back in the 60s, like going back and forth. But like he spins in these songs, and he's got lights and cameras and music, and it's a freaking show. And so since then, we've become. I mean, we talk all the time, text and message. We see each other at weddings. Paul, come back to me here. You're
I was just thinking to myself. Does he answer your texts, Mike?
Yes, he does.
Oh, noted.
You gotta talk. You gotta lead him in with the business things first, and then you hit him.
From
with
now on, I'm gonna say,
stuff.
"Hey, Seth, I have an idea for you. It's gonna make you $20,000." Oh, what's up, Paul? Hey, I just want to see. Do you want to play the song?
Exactly. Exactly.
So, and I have always been enamored with business. So I started asking Mike, like, how is the sport of DJing, and how is it like as a career? And so let's go back. After I said all that is a really bad introduction. But since then, this dude has absolutely been ruling the city of Columbus. There's no competition whatsoever, Mike. You know this. You don't even have to be humble brag or be humble about this. And now
competition.
What else could he possibly do in the city? He works with the Crew, the Blue Jackets.
Do you really?
He's the in-game Buckeyes DJ.
Did you go to Ohio State?
I did.
What else is there to do besides freaking be mayor or something? So that was really bad. So tell me, Mike, your thanks for being here. DJ Axcess. Tell me your story from start to finish. Go.
From start to finish.
I think so.
I started swimming really, really fast. And
God.
Not that start to finish?
Well, yeah, not for Paul's ears. He's very...
Okay.
You were forced out suddenly.
And then all of a sudden
you find yourself in a warm spot. You're like, oh, it's just... Wait, I'm talking about your mother now.
Shall we, boys?
Go ahead.
No, man. I've always had a passion for music. I kind of grew up when like the MP3 player was like just budding. So I was like one of the first kids on the block to have an MP3 player.
So we joke about that because for us, when we had kids at our school be like, you guys are not gonna believe this MP3 thing. We're like, bullshit. We're gonna go with our tapes still.
Yeah.
Or CDs. Sorry, CDs. Anyway, keep going, Mike.
Walkmans with the skip
I
protection.
still have them.
Yeah, the skip protection.
Skip
exactly.
action. Oh, that was revolutionary.
It was so good.
Okay, keep going, Mike.
So I always was the kid at the party, like trying to control the music and things like that. Got away from it once I went to school. I was always there was always music around.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Akron, Ohio, so not too far from here.
Oh, where'd you go to high school?
Hudson.
No shit.
I forgot
yeah.
all that too.
Dude,
I keep
for
that.
real?
I keep that on the low.
I forgot about that.
Do you know where we went to high school?
I do not.
Walsh Jesuit.
Oh yeah. We're neighbors.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Andrew went to Hudson for middle school.
Oh my gosh. How old are you, Mike? 31?
31.
Yeah, so Andrew was way older.
Yeah.
Good interview. Keep going, Mike.
Surprise. I don't talk about that a lot, but so went to Ohio State and kind of got away from music. Like there's always music like growing up. So there was my dad played drums, so I would play on his set. And then when I wanted to play music with my dad, I picked up bass guitar, and it would always get to like the point where I'd have to like learn music theory or like pick up a book.
Music theory sucks.
It really does, man. So it always got to that point. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop. And so went to college. I was doing my version of breakdancing, which is very poor.
Let's see
compared to no, man. We got enough room.
Plenty of space right here.
What tables?
So I was doing my version of breakdance in a party, and a girl approached me. It's like, yo, you have to like work for my DJ company. We do bar and bat mitzvahs, and like you have to do that. You would be perfect for it. And
What year was this?
This is 2006, maybe the beginning of 2007.
Okay.
And so I was
So you're like 18, 19.
18, 19, yep. And not making any money. And they were like, well, we make like $150 on a Saturday. And I was like, okay, I'm sold. So started doing bar and bat mitzvahs as a dancer, basically paid dancing babysitter. And just
Are you
going to
serious?
parties. Oh, yeah, man. That was me.
Were you spinning the dreidel? You're spinning the dreidel and going
Never
like,
touched the dreidel. Isn't that like a
So wait.
Hanukkah thing? Or
I don't know.
He just cuts the straight stereotypical.
Well, I haven't done anything yet about the Hudson and how he's black and Hudson's not very black, so it's going to be...
That's why I'll talk about it a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
So you were a paid bar mitzvah
Yeah, man.
dancer?
The whole
Like,
bit.
Paul, we need to get you a gig like that, bro.
Yeah, we do.
A paid bar mitzvah dancer?
That'd be great.
Anyway, keep going, Mike.
There was,
That's
there
good
were
stuff.
times where, the wrong person, like the person who was supposed to do the motzi was like in the bathroom restaurant. So I had to like do it. But just because
The
I'd been to so
motzi?
many, the hamotzi, yeah, the prayer before the bread or the prayer over the bread. Oh man,
This dude's
my
going
Jewish
to
friends
do
are gonna
Yiddish
kill me.
prayers.
Are you Lenny Kravitz? What is going on over here?
For 5 years of my life, I
Yeah.
could
You
have
did it that long?
Oh yeah, man. I was if you were having a bar mitzvah in Columbus, Ohio, I was the guy for about 2 years. There was a person who trained me. His name's DJ Nate. Shouts if he's ever watching this. That guy was the guy for about 5 years. And our company basically
Bexley did a lot of stuff in Bexley.
Bexley, New Albany, all of it.
Oh, New
Came
Albany,
up to Cleveland a bunch.
Beechwood?
Beechwood, thank you.
Why'd you forget that? The highest per capita Jewish people, I think, outside of Tel Aviv or something.
Wow.
Okay.
Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, keep going.
So I one day DJ didn't show up for the show, and they're like, "Hey Mike, you like music? Try it out." And I was terrible, absolutely awful. All I knew was like I liked Michael Jackson and Justin Timberlake, and people danced to that, so that's what I did. And so after that, I'm like, I'm not gonna go through that again and be terrible. So I bought some Fisher Price gear and basically fell in love with the art
Fisher Price.
form, and yeah, man, fell in love with the art form and practiced a bunch. Started doing, I was in college at the time, so I started doing fraternity parties, started working for
For
Ohio
free or
State.
for money?
My first few were for free, and then Delta Sigma Pi, my roommate's fraternity, was my first paying gig, $50, and I had to play off of. I didn't have speakers yet, so I had to play off of. You guys remember those boom boxes? They had like the 3 consoles. Like the center console had like your tape player, the
Yeah,
CD, and like
yeah.
a aux port, and then the 2 on the side. Yeah, so that's what I played out of. Because I didn't know what speakers I was gonna have getting there. So
How long was the gig?
Oh man, probably 4 hours.
$50, 4 hours cash?
In college, first
Yeah.
I'm starting out. See, Seth's like, yeah, right, man, I would never do it for that.
Well, we were just talking about how much I was making in grad school, and it wasn't much different. So.
Yeah, $40 a day. I think you're playing footsies with me now, Mike.
Oh,
That's
sorry,
okay.
man.
Go ahead.
My bad,
So
just
what
trying to
you-
get to know you.
So how did the DJ? So wait, but weren't you in finance or banking or something?
Sure. Yeah. So when I left school, I was preparing for a job with ArcelorMittal, huge company, steel company in Chicago, doing human resources, and that fell through last minute. So I was literally like about to drive to go look at apartments, and they're like, "Hey, we had a change of plans. We're canceling your position. Sorry." So at that point, I was a full-time DJ. Like 2 months before I graduated, I decided I was going to stay full-time DJ. Did that for, I want to say, a year and a half, 2 years, and that was a very crazy time of my life. Just because I'm only DJing, and
how'd you get business?
Right after college? So I had Buckeye Sounds, which was the company that hired me for the bar mitzvahs, and I would do gigs for them. I was the top guy there for, like I said, 2 years, and I was basically understudy for 3-4 years. Sometimes we would go out separate, me and DJ Nate, depending on how much work we had. But so I was always doing like corporate events, weddings, and bar mitzvahs for them, and then I was also doing like college events, bars at this point, because I think I was 21, 22. I was just leaving school, and so I was doing bars and all that as well. Yeah, man. So like, I would just try to do a great job, and I passed out business cards. I've always been a huge fan of like having a really nice business card, and I know the follow-up question to that is, oh, let me see it, and I would have to go out to the car and not have one on. Me
too.
So.
You don't ever carry.
I don't have business cards.
You don't have them.
I mean, maybe.
That's a level I'd love to get to. Like, man, motherfucker, go find me. So
we're in different businesses right now.
Yeah. I'm talking to brides' mothers. So, and you too, of course.
Absolutely.
So when I met you, you were basically had 2 jobs, right? You had banking by day, or like.
So you did go back to banking?
I did, yeah. So I went not back to banking. So after 2 years, the money had run out, and I realized I needed healthcare and start saving money and all that stuff that you kind of realize in your 20s or earlier. And so I started working at a bank, and it was really easy kind of fit for
What bank?
PNC.
I've heard of them.
Bank.
What were you doing for them?
I started off as a teller and then moved to like someone, they were doing something called the Universal Program. So I was one of the first bankers to be in the Universal Program. So you did teller work, and then the whole goal was that like in your teller work, you would bring them over to the desk and start doing the credit cards, loan offerings, and everything like that.
Did you like that?
I was good at it. I didn't like it. So banking's kind of interesting, and I know you're going to get on me for this, Paul. But you would have someone come in, and they're in a tough situation. I didn't have it as bad as other branches. I was in Dublin, but even in Dublin, there's people they're struggling. So you'd sit across from these people, and they would tell your story. I mean, I had tons of people crying in my office. It was kind of like a running joke is that like, Mike always makes the people in his office cry, but I listen well. So people confide a lot of things in me, and then they get emotional and they do the crying thing, which is totally fine. And I got used to it. But they would have these stories, and, they'd be like, I just need $72 in fees removed. And so I would put in a request because I didn't have, I couldn't do that up until like my last year with them. I always had to put in a request, and I would get, you can't refund this. And then like the next email the next day was like, hey, we did $1 billion in profit in 1 quarter. And I was like, but we couldn't help this dude out. Like, you guys are trying to get me to, yeah, exactly. I know, Paul, you know that. So
why is that bad, Mike?
I get it now. I get it now.
Well, maybe it's not, whatever, but how many people were bank at PNC?
Man.
3 million?
I have no idea.
If every single one of them got $70 back.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead, Mike.
So I get it. But again, that kind of weighed on my conscience a bit. So I didn't enjoy. I liked the people. I liked the people I worked with a ton, and I liked working with people I just didn't like. I didn't believe in what I was doing. And honestly, I don't have to worry about this. Yeah. So honestly, we didn't have the best products, so I wasn't using our credit card. So why would I sell someone our credit card? Like, our credit card had no fees, but the point system wasn't as good as another credit card that you could get with the same credit score. And
Capital One or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. The same credit score, and the rewards weren't as good. So I didn't believe in our products, and so
tough sell.
It was a tough sell, but I was good at my job. When it came to helping people out of bad spots, I was kind of the guy. If anyone had a question about anything that was technical or how to do stuff on the computer, I was that guy. But luckily there was a girl in our branch, and she was like super sales oriented, in my opinion, almost to a fault. Sorry, Renee. and she would be like the salesperson. So anytime that I didn't feel like comfortable, like this person doesn't need a credit card. Hey, Renee, come on over, and she would sell them the credit card. Just because, I mean, when you know someone's finances really well, sometimes the credit card's not the greatest option. Or if you know someone's not only finances but the way they act, sometimes the credit card's not the best decision. But PNC would say yes, the credit card's the best decision
because they're going to make money off that. 'Cause that person can use the credit card.
That's people they make money off.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, DJing, you're still doing this at night, or you completely stopped it?
No. So I was DJing still a lot, probably 1 to 2 weekly shows, and then every Saturday, every Friday.
It felt weird when Paul just did my job there for like 2 seconds.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it was just like I was like sitting in awe. Like you just posed up a cool question, like I would normally.
Was that
do.
a cool question?
I don't know. It's just like I was gonna chime in and I let you take over. It was nice. It's nice of you.
Thank you. What do I need you for?
I don't know. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so Mike, when I met you, how many weddings were you doing a year? Mm-hmm. And what were you charging for said weddings?
I was doing 30 weddings a year, and I was charging between $900 to $1,100, depending on peak season or not.
And where did that put you amongst the ranks of other DJs?
I'd
still kind of high.
Yeah, still high.
Is it high, really?
It is.
When I was guessing to myself, I'm like, oh, he's new to it. I'm thinking $1,000 for a new. Like I would have thought a good DJ would be $1,500 to $2,000 or something.
To be fair, when I met Seth, I think I was 2 or 3 years in. So I started out, I want to say 700, and then went to, and then I was increasing like $100 per year. So I was probably 900 when I met you. So 2 years in.
There are like your budget DJs in Columbus that do it for about $600.
Yeah.
And you would do 30 weddings a year, plus other events.
Yes.
Because clearly you can't live off of just, I'm doing the math, $27,000 a year.
And I was doing okay at the bank, like between bonuses and the fact that, working at a bank, you learn how to manage your money and you learn like this person's doing well, what traits and habits do they have, and you learn which jobs are doing what. So I had a pretty good handle on my finances for the most part.
What were you making at the bank?
I was making $20K.
Okay, full-time?
No, part-time. So
I was going to say, I'm like,
that's not good money, Mike.
I don't want to advise you incorrectly here, but.
Yeah. So I was part-time. I would do about anywhere from 20 to 30 hours, depending on how many people we had in the branch.
Can you recall your goals at the time trying to build this DJ business? Like what would have been great money or a good revenue at the time?
That's the tricky part, man. I don't want too many of my clients to hear this, but I love DJing. I would rather, and maybe it's a little bit different now, only a little, but I would rather go out and DJ for $200 rather than sit at home on the couch.
But by the way, don't worry about your clients, and here's why. At the end of the day, you're still in demand, and you get to dictate. You get to sit there and say, all right, well then if you don't want me, somebody else will pay me $1,000. I still get or 50. What do you charge now?
So now I'm at $19.50 for weddings.
Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot. And how many weddings are you doing a year now?
50 weddings a year.
Ooh, somebody's making 6 figures.
Why do you like that so much, Paul?
Because I like it when people do very well at something they do. You know what I mean? He's just doing something well, and it's DJing, and he went to college never thinking he'd be a DJ. When he went to college, he thought he'd be some executive sitting there with a nice tie.
So Mike brings this up a lot. I don't need to bring it up as much as he does, but he's very we had a sit down about what I thought he was worth, because in my field of photography, people really struggle with charging.
Yes.
Money is bad, making money is bad, and charging clients is worse.
Yeah.
And so it reflects into your own self-value. I said, my God, man, I see these shitty DJs charging X amount of dollars. And we have a mutual friend that I saw that was more than you, who was far less talented. And
is it just you?
Yes, it is. Well, okay. I have 2 brands. I have DJ Axcess, which I keep separately, and then I also manage and do sales and training for Beat Squad Entertainment. So shout out to Ben Wallace. He started Beat Squad Entertainment.
The basketball player?
No, not the basketball player, although he gets that a lot.
Wasn't he in that fight?
He was there on the team that fight, yes.
Oh, yeah, 15 years ago anniversary.
Yeah, the fight with
Malice at the Palace.
Yeah, okay.
We were just talking about that.
Go ahead.
You found a way to work that in. Nice.
I didn't do that. He did that.
Keep going. But so Beat Squad?
Yeah, Beat Squad Entertainment. And so we manage a small team of like really talented DJs. So Ben realized that there was a lack of, or I guess an opportunity where there's couples that don't want that typical wedding DJ who's gonna, play full songs and, you know, maybe be a little bit cheesy on the microphone. So we all are focused on getting like nightclub and bar DJs, like people who know how to mix, read a crowd, have some personality on the microphone. And we kind of created Collective to kind of serve that need for couples who don't want that type of DJ.
You know, I brought this up to Mike many years ago because I just saw what he did on the show. And it's just little things, Paul, about being at a wedding. Like, when the couple comes in and the energy's real high, some DJs, for some reason, they cut all the music. There's a delay in timing to not like capitalize on the excitement. Their products stink. Their microphones break. It's all these little things. You're like, why are we all sitting here in dead silence? What's the DJ doing? I don't even know. But like, I just noticed this kid was just doing these things. He just kept this crowd engaged. It was more of a show, yet not on him. Oh, you said this before. Mm-hmm. He's putting on a show, and the bride and groom are the stars. And so he's just this perfect MC that kind of keeps things going. And sure enough, like, he'd hand off the mic to Dad with like a loving handshake. And then he'd end, like, Dad would come back and hand Mike the microphone with like a little bit of a hug. And I'm like, what is going on with this dude? This is not what I saw over hundreds of weddings. And that's when I was like, God, man, what are you charging? So we had to sit down where I was trying to, like you would advise, but this was years ago, was like push him. Like, I think you're worth a ton more. And Mike, initially you gave some, what were your hesitations? Because you were definitely
Absolutely.
hesitant.
Yeah. So
what were you charging at that time when you met Seth?
I remember $1,200.
Yeah. So I think maybe when I met, 9 to 12, somewhere in there. And depending on peak season, off season, all that. Mm-hmm. So my reservations were in my mission, because when I was in high school, I had a great intro to business teacher. And, we did business plans. And so when I started, DJ Axcess, I was like, all right, let me make a business plan.
Why?
And my missions, exactly. Now I would never recommend that to somebody.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, no problem.
Really?
I hate business plans.
Oh.
I refuse to read them. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
So I had a mission statement, and when I first started, I wanted to be an elevated performance, something, and then at the end, an elevated performer, and then
I like that.
And then what was the last thing I said? I was that's affordable, and for some reason that always stuck in my mind because and like you have talked about this on other podcasts. I felt guilty charging more than what I would pay for my services, if that makes sense.
Kind of like the credit card thing.
Yeah, exactly. So if I was hiring a DJ, what would I feel comfortable paying? And that was where it was at. Then that's how I valued myself instead of.
So why don't you value a DJ that much?
Because I enjoy it so much, honestly, because that does not feel like work to me. Sure, some gigs definitely do. But most of the time,
interesting.
And a lot of DJs complain a lot, but you got to remember, we're just playing music. We're playing music we didn't make. Other people are doing the dancing, and it's up to us to, if you're doing weddings and stuff, to guide the event along and make sure everyone's having a good time and that you don't mess up the big moments. But even if I do 50 weddings a year. Of course, I've messed up a couple big moments here.
Like what kind of mess ups?
Oh, man.
Get the name wrong?
Yeah, not mispronunciations of difficult names. I will say that I'm fairly confident that if your name is not, this sounds bad. I'll just say it. If your name is like foreign, I'm gonna practice as much as I can. But listen, I'm gonna ask the couple like, hey, phonetically is how I do it. I'm gonna write it down phonetically. But if it's a tricky name in the moment, nerves are going. Your microphone, you have a second. Yes, in 50 weddings a year, I might mess up a couple names. And, maybe my laptop crashes. So things that are mostly out of my control. So
what do you do when a laptop crashes?
So when the laptop crashes, there's a couple things you can do. I can plug in my iPhone. It's happened so much now that if my program crashes, I have iTunes ready with Usher, because that song works every time. So the music could go out. iTunes is already open. I can search, click it, and then within 4 seconds, I can have music going on. And so it doesn't happen often, but there was a period where the program that I was using wasn't talking to the light program that I was using well, and I would say I had a crash maybe twice a month for 3 months, which was not great. Yeah.
Oof.
But and you say that, right? Because and to myself and you guys, that's a big thing. But in the span of 5 hours to not have music for 4 seconds, even if it was like the best song playing right now, what I've realized is that it's a big deal, but it's really not a big deal.
I know.
Recover. Yeah.
Listen, everything you can recover from,
Yeah.
but I can understand the stress of all of the anxiousness. All of a sudden, your computer goes down. You're like, okay, click, 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 click.
Let me come back to something. Have you gotten over this mindset that you wouldn't want to pay for you? Because many years ago, someone told me an interesting concept in photography is you want to be that photographer that you couldn't afford. And Paul has trained me that like he wants our media company to be so successful that I'm too much to even do our own internal stuff. He'd rather just hire some nudniks to do a par job.
Talented nudniks.
Yeah, talented nudniks. Then so like what is that mindset? So like I've actually embraced the idea that if people don't want to think I'm too expensive, they don't want to afford me, that's kind of where I want to be. How is that mindset going through with DJing? Like, and the other thought, the other thing that really changed my mind about being a photographer, which might help you, is like someone told me like, I had a client in and we sat down with Photoshop, which is a very, very advanced program. And I do this in front of my clients. They'll say, hey, this is messed up. Can we Photoshop this out? And I'm like, yep, let me fire this up right now. And they're always amazed that I can just like fly around and take out planes and birds and switch people's faces and photos. And some photographer told the story like, yeah, like I'll charge you, $120 to alter this photo. And like they did it in front of the person. They're like, why? This took you like 10 seconds. Why would you charge me that much? It's like, well, I'm charging you for the 10 years it took to get to this spot.
Right.
So how do those two, like, can you overcome this thought process? I still think you're too cheap at where you're at. And I still think that.
What's the most expensive wedding DJ you've ever heard of? How much? And don't tell me like Beverly Hills stuff. I'm talking about like local Ohio, Pittsburgh, Detroit. Like, what's the most expensive one?
What do you think, Mike? I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
I think there's guys that charge $2,500, and it's
that's
mostly,
the most expensive.
I think so because they're mostly guys who maybe they did it for a very, very long time.
Mike, when you
years.
leave here today, you're $2,950.
Why? That's what I think.
Listen, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I really don't honestly know. But at the same token, there are many, many stories about people starting to charge more money and they get their business skyrockets.
So I brought this up because we did a promo video together.
Yes, fantastic. That I get compliments all the time still.
Because we're trying. It's very hard to sell a DJ. You're selling
Is that on your website?
Yes, it is.
You're trying to sell a product that a bride and groom can't see, Paul. Now, they can come to another wedding, but who's doing that? How many of your clients do that?
I don't allow it, so none.
Oh,
What is that? You don't allow what?
So if someone wanted to
come see what
come
you
see
do,
what I do,
they're not going to go to somebody else's wedding.
Yeah.
So you're kind of buying blind, Paul.
Yeah.
Like photos, you can say, oh, they can produce this amount of photos, or they can produce this quality photo. I'm probably going to get that. So we were trying to transfer in this video what you're going to get. And so we talked about the lighting, Paul, custom lighting that bounces to the music.
And it's even gotten better since that video.
Tell me about it.
Oh, yeah. So like I was telling you, my DJ program talks to my lighting program, and then I have a separate MIDI board. So separate from the turntables and the mixer, I have a separate lighting board. So at any time, I can hit strobes. I've programmed 32 different, we can call them auto loops or auto programs that talk to my DJ software. So if, the beat is going like this.
You have to ask them.
It's actually going to be in the wedding page. So I keep my weddings kind of separate.
This is DJAxcess.com, AXCESS, DJAxcess.com.
That one?
That's it.
Check it out, Paul. Now
Adorable.
that was 4 or 5 years ago or 4 years ago.
2017.
I think he came right from his banking job that day.
He wanted to look nice. And listen, but I think if we redid that video, we'd have a lot. We could redo it, make it even better. I think now,
Absolutely, yeah.
updated.
I think so too.
But that's my point, Paul. Is like, what are your thoughts on trying to show potential clients like what they're gonna get? Because it's just so different.
I don't know.
That's it.
And I'm not saying it from the standpoint of like, I'm trying to sound naive. I just, I don't know the DJ business at all. And maybe I'm just a spendthrift. I would have thought a DJ would have started at $1,500 for a wedding, $1,500, $2,000. I would have thought for a wedding. Like I've had birthday parties for myself and I hire a DJ. I'm not paying $2,000 for that. You know what I mean?
Right,
Because
right.
it's just like with background. But this is a wedding. You know what I mean? I look at going.
So let's go back. What were your initial hesitations about changing your price back then, 4 years ago?
I think that was the main one. Is like I felt, you gotta remember, man, I was super happy about 1,200. Like that was that was awesome. You know, on every weekend. You know, some people work all weekend, they don't get that.
Yeah.
And where I'm doing, 5 hours of entertainment, 2 hours of setup, and maybe 2.5 to 3 hours of meetings. Like that to me, and for something that I enjoy, like that wasn't bad. So, and then luckily you kind of coach me about just, hey, this is how business works. And
did you hear that from anybody else? Was anyone else telling you that?
That I was too cheap. Yes,
Yeah.
I would hear that a lot.
Yeah.
But not to the direct point where you were like, listen, I see all these other guys. This is what they do. You do more than that. So even if you don't feel like your value is like that much, it really is. And he's like, and the thing that he said is just try it.
Do you have testimonials?
I do. Yes, so I have that. I have reviews on Wedding Wire, The Knot, and then anytime a couple sends me a written, like a written
Thank you
card,
note
written
or
thank you
something?
note,
Yeah.
I post those. So I don't do the ones where, I don't do the ones where it's like email, just because I think anyone could type up something like that. So the handwritten ones.
Well, I can go to anybody and be like, hey, ma'am, could you please write this for me?
I mean, yeah, you could. And that's why I don't put a whole lot of faith in that. So like it's.
By the way,
something that
people believe it.
I know they do.
Even the email, people believe it. In fact, I'd look at the email and believe that more than I believe the handwritten letter.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'd believe the email because it's a screenshot. Yeah, you're right. It could be. I'm following you now, by the way. You just got an extra follower.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
Clients. So I've heard this hesitation before. Is like, what will my clients think? Did that ever cross your mind? If I raise prices, it's such a funny thing because then I started realizing, well, my clients are already gone. Someone told me, like, if you raise prices, your past clients, what will my past clients think if they want to rebook me?
No, I wasn't it.
No?
No, I think anyone who
Photographers are hesitant. Well, if they want to use me again and I'm more money, what are they going to think?
When we had the house in
they
Mexico,
think you probably got better.
Yeah, when the house in Mexico, like I'll have friends who rented out for me 5-6 years ago. I gave a screaming deal to. Hey, Paul, one other week. I mean, this is the price now. What would happen? We're swamped. Sorry. Like that's just what it's going to take now. Listen, you got to be comfortable in your time being worth something, valuing your private time. Like I know you love DJing,
Right.
and you do it for $200, but at the same point, you also at some point we get to the point you're like, listen, I just want to enjoy my life, and if I make good money now, I'd rather just sit at home and spend time with.
Why do you think people are hesitant to charge for something they enjoy?
Because he feels guilty. I enjoyed this. Why am I charging for something I really enjoy? I mean,
Correct.
just think about it. It's like, what if somebody paid you to eat? I mean, I don't know if that's the right thing to do, or drink, or play tennis. I don't know. It's just at some point you're just like,
You just feel bad?
yeah. I think that very like when you said that, I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
No, I hear it a ton. I probably had it myself. I was just wondering what like the thought process is like.
Well, the argument I'd make back is I enjoy it so much. You're going to see it in this performance. You're going to see how awesome it is, and that's why I charge a lot.
And that's where I've kind of gotten to now. That was so Seth kind of jump started like, hey, just try it.
Seth.
Yeah. Oh, big time, man. I owe Seth a ton. He said, just try it. Like, you're $1,200 a day. For the next 3 clients that you see, just say $1,450.
Yeah, I think that's
and
what
see
we came
happened.
up with.
Yeah,
What
that's
happened?
And all 3 booked me. And so I stayed there for a minute.
How funny.
And then I found myself coaching other people the same thing. Hey, you're doing a great job.
How long have you been at
This, that.
1950?
I've been at 1954 a year now.
Time to raise your prices.
It is. And we actually, Seth, we already talked about that because
if you did 50 weddings a year, if you did 2950, how many weddings do you think you do a year?
I think I'd still do 50.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Yeah.
Is he going to owe us money after this podcast?
I thought you'd say they go down by half or something.
And even, by the way, I was expecting him to say half, and even then I've been like, okay, is
But
the extra?
But then my next question is, do you want to do 50 or would you be happier at 25?
That's the tricky part because I'm happy doing 50, and then the only thing that that trips me up is I'll get requests for other opportunities. Maybe it's a music festival, maybe it's a nightclub that I want
and
to get into.
that's why you got to charge more, because you want those gigs. You say, guys, it's either I do this wedding for $2,950 or I do a music festival for $2,950. How much are you gonna get paid for a music festival?
Probably nothing.
Oh,
because their whole thing.
So don't talk to me. You don't have to go into the financials, but how do you get the gigs with these major sports teams? Because once you've hit almost all of them, Where else could you possibly
And do
go?
they pay you?
They do. Yeah. The pro sports teams are much
Where
better
else?
than the music
Where could you?
festivals.
Where else can you? So you're the in-game. This is the first year you're the in-game Buckeye DJ.
Yes,
You're down
myself
right
and,
on the
Brian.
court. You're by the Bucknut guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan Day, the head coach, said he wanted a hipper vibe.
Yes.
Now this isn't DJ Axcess Unleashed. It's still like careful white people music, right?
Well, he's
Like,
from Hudson. I think he understands.
You'd be surprised.
Tell me
man.
about it.
So the only thing that's like it's got to be clean, right? So to give you a little bit of background, there's we call it. They'll basically talk to my spotter and say, hey, we need fan music, and that's when it's like, okay, you're playing to Ohioans, and then there's team music, and then now we're playing to 18-year-old to 22-year-old college players, as well as recruits. Because what's happening is,
Oh, is that?
Now,
so
are
tell me-
you the one that gives the money to the recruits directly to go to Ohio State, or do you hold off on that?
we're gonna have to bleep this
Either
out.
way, they're not coming to Michigan.
Definitely have to bleep this out.
Fuck you.
So wait, how do you get that gig? So tell me about each gig, because like it started off with soccer.
So that was Columbus Crew.
Yeah, Columbus Crew.
Yep.
You started
a soccer
there.
player?
Started there. Am I a soccer player? I used to play.
No.
I was gonna say when I said MLS, when you said MLS thing, you're like, oh my god, MLS. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. What was the?
So how long did you do? Are you still with them or no?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, but not. Maybe you did the Blue Jackets for a couple years.
Blue Jackets. I did special events for them. So I did opening night, and then when they made the playoffs, not the most recent time where they won the first series, but the time before that, I did their playoff.
He was right down on the ice with
yeah.
the jersey, just in a box, like freaking.
Do I need to make a reference to ice hockey and
Oh, you got
race,
to.
or no?
You have my permission.
I'm just wondering.
I
what
can't
people-
speak for everyone out
I
there. But
wonder
you
what
have my
people
permission.
thought when they're like, what's down there on the ice over there?
These Iraqi people, we got to slow them.
I'm from the Middle East. I'm allowed to make racial
Yes.
comments, aren't I?
So how did you finally get when they said we need a DJ? How did they get to you for
yeah,
the
good-
Buckeye games?
I owe it all to a guy who is the voice of the Columbus Clippers and the Ohio State Buckeyes men's basketball team. Big Matt, for watching this. Big thank you to you. But he put my name in, and if I can kind of go off this a little bit, everyone might think that like, oh, they probably saw a video of me scratching, or they probably, he was doing this, that, the other thing. And honestly, the where I get most of my business is just people being in places where they say, hey, someone says, hey, I need a DJ, and they go, yo, I got the best person for you. You gotta talk to Mike.
And if he's unavailable, Mike's available.
Exactly. There's a lot of Mikes,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But to that point,
I'm kidding.
Mike's not. If I'm not available, that's why I have Beat Squad to
And that's
elevate
why you
those
need to
guys.
charge more.
I'm
'cause you
working
wanna
on
be
it. I'm
available.
working on it, man. I'm working on it.
Oh my gosh.
Let's do this. Do you agree to charge $29.50 for your next 3 events?
What's the punish? What is the penalty?
What is the penalty? That's a good question. Oh, look at him. He's thinking about this because I think he's worried, but he also wants to do it.
I think Paul, you should bet him.
See, I'm trying to think of what kind of bet I could make.
So you could bet him that he'll book the next
But I can't control that. That's the only problem.
3 out of 5.
Oh, let's do this. What percent right now when you get a call in, what percentage of them are you booking?
90%.
Dude.
Why? What
You
is
should,
that?
be, you should be booking 40%. You should increase your price until you're at 40%.
So this is the
90%
business.
means it already tells you you're too low. If you're booking 90% of your business, you're too low.
Did you want a live business?
I did actually. I was looking forward to it, and
Because
I
that's-
told you that.
Okay. I want to make sure, because that's why I hang out with this guy, because the artistic Seth who takes beautiful photos has no idea about
90%?
profit, loss, booking, pricing,
90%?
marketing.
Literally 90%.
Literally 90%. It could be more than that. Honestly, I can't.
I'm
remember.
being humble.
I can't. I honestly. I'm not lying. I
Tim!
can't-
He books 90% of the phone calls that come in. What do you think?
40.
Yeah.
Oh, so describe what he's saying.
So
Paul.
Tim's saying right now it's like property management. Whenever we get to like 95, 96%, we're like, okay, our price is too low. We got to increase. We want to get to 90%. You just increase your price until you're at 90%, and that's your market price.
Yeah, I
for
work
us.
with photographers, and I tell them if you're booking up,
90%.
that fast for what you're asking, your clients are telling you you're well within that range of affordability. And
Not only affordability, he's already on the high
it.
end of price. Supposedly, this is like the art world. With people feel guilty charging more.
so what if he misses the next 3 at the $3,000? Paul, what if
Well, if he doesn't own, I want him to own that price in his head. I want him to realize like I am worth that price. Because that's a big part of it, right? You know what I mean? Like when you did the 1450 the first time, did you feel like, oh, or did you feel like, no, I got this? Be honest. What am I saying?
It was a mix of both. It was a mix of both, honestly, because on the one hand, I like to do this thing, and on the other hand, it's like I would like to make more money. But the idea of it. Okay, so I'm just gonna say it. It hurts a little bit when I do get someone who reaches out to me and I give them my price point and they say, "Oh, we can't afford you." That hurts a little bit. I don't know if that's across businesses.
Why does it hurt you?
It kills me too, Paul.
Why does it hurt you guys?
We love what we do. We want these people are coming to us and saying, "Hey, we love what you do. Come do this for us." And you're saying, "Hey, cool. This is what I do it for." And they go, "Oh, we can't afford you." And a lot of times,
what's their price? Like, how far off are you?
Usually now it's about $1,000 off. So
you're double what they want to spend.
Yeah, now. But even
I get
when
that too. I get that too. I'm double at times. Yeah. Oh my God. Gorgeous conversation.
Can I make a comment? Yeah. Why are they even calling you?
Well, I don't.
Their friend, hey, we saw you at such and such's wedding. They gave you my email.
I don't scream out my prices on my website because I'd like a little more of a personal connection.
Can we talk about that too? Because that's a debate I have.
I like putting prices and high prices on websites.
So I don't like to put it on my website, but in my initial email, I tell them. So like if that's way too high, I don't have to spend the time meeting with them.
Absolutely.
But I do want as many inquiries as possible.
Why?
Because I want to be able to make the decision where, like, let's say they see on my website 1950, but their wedding's in January. Their wedding's the first, January 1 is New
Can't you put a range, or can't you put it by? It's like, hey, prices for me range from 1,500 to 3,000, depending on event, time of year, proximity to the event. Like, if somebody called you for this weekend, you had a vacancy, and they're like, "Listen, our DJ literally just dropped dead for our wedding. We need somebody." Mm-hmm. You'd probably do it for a better price.
Yeah,
You'd be like, "Oh, so." I look at that going, the great thing about a website is you can give people an idea. Like, I don't like going to a website and not seeing prices. That annoys me.
I the same way.
I'd rather see a huge range and go, okay, what makes it? And if it says underneath, price depends on proximity to event, type of event, and time of year.
So what if my range is 1,500 to 2,450 or 1,450 to 2,450, and someone who's 1450 sees that, and then it's you're a Saturday in July, it's 2450.
Why is that bad?
I don't know. To me,
what are the chances of somebody who's calling you for 1450? How often are you upselling them to even get you to 2450?
I wouldn't even consider it upsell. Like that's kind of something I stay away from.
No, I upsell.
Oh, okay.
Get them to actually pay your actually asking price.
Say it one more time.
So when somebody calls you, mm-hmm. How often they tell you, "Man, you're too expensive," and they still end up booking at your regular price?
For me, it's little.
Maybe sometimes somewhere between 25 and 50%. Because, okay, so let's say for $500
at your full
off,
ask price.
At my full ask price. So let's say we're $500 off. I have tools that I can use to get the people. Listen, based on what you're telling me about your wedding day, this is why you need me A, B, and C. In addition, if you feel after the reception for any reason that I didn't meet, your expectation of what a 1450 or 1950, whatever DJ it is, I'll go back to your budgeted price. And I'll say, when I say that, 50% of the time they book.
Okay, that's different. For you, if very few of them are paying your price, all the more reason why you should put your price on your website. Just don't even have the conversation. But he's able to get people to come in, say, "That's too much money. All right, here's what I'll do for you. I guarantee you that I will meet this standard. If I do not, I will write you a check for $500. Done." How many people have ever taken you up on that?
A lot. I would say.
I mean in terms of asking for the $500.
Oh,
back.
Never.
I was like,
never.
Damn, you're doing a terrible job. That's my point, Mike. So maybe you do the same thing on $29.50. This is gonna sound cheesy. $29.50 money back guarantee. Or something like that, like half. By the way, I'm just spitballing. I don't like the idea of money back guarantee on this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But I look at it going,
because it's somewhat subjective.
Yeah,
if people aren't willing to dance, or it's an older crowd, then you're not going to have a hop.
Nobody's going to ask for their money back. No one in the world's going to ask for their money back.
He doesn't work with brides,
and they do. But they're so immersed in that day. It would take a royal. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, but how do you guarantee? Well, regardless, I mean,
here's the point. If 5 people you asked for their money back, how many more jobs did you get because of $29.50? Because you said that.
How many weddings you won't have to do? Paul, what's the math? How many weddings, if it's 50, How many weddings will he
25.
not have to?
5, yeah.
If you double it, it's 25 then.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's going from 2,000 to 3,000.
Oh, I'm sorry. 2,000 to 3,000. Then 1/3 less. So it's 33 then. He'd save 16, 17 weddings by increasing his price. He has 16, 17 nights in the year now to do whatever he wants. Go generate under revenue. That's the theory behind it.
Yeah.
Does it work? Does it not work? I don't know. But it's your theory. You do a lot less weddings, but you charge a good amount of money for them.
I make more money than people who are doing 50 weddings. We do 18.
Correct. To me, I look at that going, listen, it's all theory, it's all idea. But I look at this guy going, okay,
Mike,
you walked in, you were just like, immediately walked in. I'm like, yeah, here's a nice guy. Immediately
Right?
walked in, I'm like, here's a nice guy.
What were you going to say? You inhaled.
If I told you that I would rather do, to use Seth's example, I would rather do 50 weddings a year at a lower price point.
Don't be ashamed. That's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Why-
I don't
why
want
is that?
I'm not judging. I'm not. I feel bad because I want Mike thinking. I think
No,
at the end of the day, you got to do what makes you happy.
All right,
If
I'm just
you-
wondering. Then I'm wondering why. Why do you want to do 50 at a lower price point? What?
Because I'd rather do 50 at a lower price point than do say 30 at a lower price.
There's nothing in this world you'd rather be doing than for the same amount of money. There's
That's
nothing
what I
in this
assumed
world.
his answer would be.
There's nothing in this world. Travel, girlfriend.
I mean, I still travel, so I do an international trip every year, which I love. I'm gonna probably increase that to 2 next year. I go to Vegas numerous times a year. I'm able to visit my family.
See, Paul, I have to start realizing this isn't wrong. This is what he wants to do.
Yeah. And by the way, he's not complaining. If somebody was in here going, I don't make enough money, I spend too much time doing that, okay, increase your price. No, I can't do that because I want to be like, well, you just complained that you don't make enough
You're
money,
right.
you spend too much time, but you don't want to increase your price. Mike's sitting there saying, no, I do everything I want to do. He's single.
Yeah, absolutely.
No kids.
Sorry, I have a girlfriend now, but
Well,
that's
yeah,
that's
whatever.
no, man.
We all know that's a very loose term.
Now she can't watch this.
That's the reason I say that. Anyways, that's why I like it. It's like, okay, Mike's being consistent. You know how big I am on consistency.
How many out of 50 weddings? So this really opened my eyes up to how many out of 50 weddings are there people who are probably willing and want to spend more just so they feel good about spending money?
It's the most important day of their lives. I think with weddings, people want to spend more.
Wouldn't there be at least 10 to 15 that want to be like,
How do we make a deal happen here where I tell him, here's the deal. I'm going to give you money to market
well,
this
it's
thing.
his business. I mean, it's
I
his
know.
business.
But I want the cream. I want the cream. By the way, I'm not going to do that. The whole point is, Mike, you walked in, and they know how much I dislike people. You walked in, I'm like, oh, here's a nice guy. True or false? True. I dislike everyone. Mike walked in, I'm like, oh, here's a nice guy.
Like, because that was really an eye-opening to me is like some people, someone told me like, I photograph people and, it's hard. Families don't invest in photography. It's rare that people actually have photos of themselves printed on the wall. Mm-hmm. Paul, I gave you a large portrait of all your dogs. It's the best thing ever. But
except for the dogs.
Some people tell me like sometimes that working dad that's been too busy in his bride's life for her whole life, this is his one time he can show love to her by just throwing money at things. And I'm ready to be there because I think I'm worth it. And the worth thing, my services are worth it. Are really what I had to overcome. It's like I thought they weren't worth it. I thought like I was ripping people off. And then I went to Disney and realized like I want to throw all this money at Disney, buy all the stupid hats and do all the stupid stuff because it's our one chance to like, yeah, screw it. I don't even care. And so I'm just wondering out of 50, how many people would be like, hey, you know what? Hey, yeah, talking to a coworker at the wedding. Yeah, I paid $3,000 for this guy. Isn't he incredible?
To me, the fact that he said he closes 90% tells me his price has got to go up. That alone.
Got to go up.
So
how many people still have the option to tip me, and they often do. So I mean,
so what do you end up making? So you charge $19.50, but what do you get?
So I'll usually my normal pricing, because people usually at a ceremony, is $2,100. And then I'll get anywhere from $100 to $200 tip.
You know what you say?
Typically.
Hey, $29.50 doesn't include tips included. I don't want. This is your flat fee. You know what it is. I don't want you to feel awkward. These are the things you include in there. You bridge that gap a little more.
You mentioned the word upselling. When I started switching my mindset in photography to I'm not going to upsell, I'm just going to let them buy things and shut my mouth. I'm just going to show them things and shut my mouth. That was the biggest transition in my business is I'm like, oh, you're here. We're done with the wedding. you can also have this beautiful wall art gallery. And a friend of ours, Jen and Daryl at the party, they emailed me 3 times. We don't want wall art. We don't want this. We're not ready. And they bought the most expensive thing I offer, a $3,400 piece of wall art, which graces their gorgeous walls now. It covers the span of a whole couch. It's the best thing ever. And it wasn't until I just sat there and shut my mouth and said, oh, I also offer this. Are there things like that you can offer in DJ that they can? Tell me about some of them.
Yes. So we have a photo booth currently, and we also have uplighting.
Those are my 2 things I was going to ask about, because they're like, photo booth added on and uplighting.
So, and it's, again, it goes back to the banking thing. I don't like selling products that I wouldn't buy myself or that I don't believe in. If you have a fantastic DJ at your reception, I don't think you need a photo booth. I want those 10 people that are in line for the photo booth. I know.
But no, here's why that's, Mike, I'm trying to interrupt you. The difference between the credit cards and the photo booth is they want a credit card. You're like, I would never take this credit card. The photo booth, they might just prefer a photo booth. So now you're telling them, I don't like a photo booth, therefore you shouldn't like it.
And I don't do that in my things, but again, in my head,
I know that's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying. In your head, when you say that's the difference. The credit card thing, I understand completely. Like, why would I take this? Why would I try to sell them this credit card? They can go to Capital One and get a way better credit card. The photo booth thing, they don't have options for a photo booth. Mm-hmm. They want the photo booth. It's at the wedding. They want to take these pictures. Let them do it.
Sure. So then now I'm working. We used to have our own. I didn't believe in the photo booth that we were selling. So I'm working with another company now, because I don't want to add. My car's already filled up to the brim. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to be working with another company to. They have a really dope photo booth, and they're going to be we're just going to contract them out.
So I didn't want to spend this time ripping into your business.
Oh, I don't think it's a rip in.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, this is what I wanted.
But I thought to myself, my God, Paul.
I'm very impressed with the business. I don't think this is a rip in at all.
This is what I'm saying. The most talented, charismatic DJ I've ever met sounds like he has so much room to grow.
We all do.
You think?
Is that you fucking kidding?
Well, my wedding business can't grow too much more.
Okay.
Yeah, it can. You're only doing 18.
Of course it can.
Well, I mean,
that was a stupid statement. That was a stupid.
I don't know.
Mike just called you out in half a second. Yeah, you can. You're only doing 18.
Well, I mean, but the point is, like, this dude could come in here making $500 with shit equipment. That's a lot of room to grow. But this guy still has so much. Potential is what I mean to say. There's so much potential, even at his talent levels, his gear levels. When it hits your ear, it's intoxicating. It's incredible.
How many days a week are you working?
I'd
talk
say,
about that.
Yeah.
You started saying you were setting goals like weekly. Tell me about your mindset with that.
Yeah, sure. So I work every Wednesday at a night or bar, and then Thursdays I'll typically do either a nightclub or a corporate event, and then Fridays is either a corporate. It's kind of whatever bar, corporate event, and then Saturdays is this wedding is almost exclusively, and then during summer I'll DJ either at like a brunch party or a pool.
So during the day.
During the day, correct.
So you're not like. It's not like you're swamped throughout the week in terms of during the day. You have your free time to be able to do other things.
No, yeah. So, I mean, I keep myself busy during the week. Like, obviously, you have the administrative stuff and
like
helping other DJs grow. So I do a lot of meetings. So I'm I meet with all my couples 3 times. So you figure, 150 meetings a year just in weddings, which I'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before my Wednesday show. And then on top of that, I'll also have my administrative stuff. We were talking about Trello a little bit. I have my daily tasks, weekly tasks.
You should see this dude's organization with his tasks, bro. It blows mine out of the water.
That's not saying much.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's just dope. I was like, dude, you got to show this to Paul because he's like on it.
I love the gym now. Ever since I left PNC, I've had time to do the gym.
I can see this.
Hey,
that's what I said. Yeah.
Why not?
Those pectorals popping out of that shirt.
I'm trying to get to this, man. I'm 180. I'm trying to get to 170 to look like that.
But,
yeah, he's got it all going on.
So so do you want to get married?
No.
Oh, is she going to hear that and go?
She knows. She doesn't want to get married either.
That's nice.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm looking at going like, man, I just.
What do you see? What do you see with this guy coming up?
Well, I don't know what his goals are like long term. We haven't talked about his goals yet. Mm-hmm. Like, what are your goals? Do you have any goals long term? You might not. I don't know.
I've always said the only goal is happiness, and so like that's financial stability.
Are you financially stable now?
Yes.
I mean, I assumed you are, but I mean, you got to be making 6 figures plus right now.
I spend a lot of money on DJ gear.
Really?
I have a DJ.
I thought that's like
gear.
one-time purchases for like 3 years.
For most, you could definitely be a smart businessman and only purchase once. But I love this stuff, man. So any new piece of gear that comes out, I want to play with it. So that's kind of the way I've been kind of justifying that is by having a YouTube channel where I review gear and teach tips and things like that.
How many subscribers do you have?
I just hit 1,000. I want to say, hey, thank you. So now I'm
So
monetizing
companies are now
it.
like sending him shit to review and do.
Yep, just had that for the first time.
When did you start that?
So I started taking my YouTube channel seriously this past year. So 2019, maybe January. My goal was 1,000 subscribers. The first half of the year, I was not very diligent.
What'd you start the year at? How many subscribers?
Less than 100.
We need to talk to this guy. This guy needs to help us.
Let me pause real quick. Who are some superstar DJs you can look up to?
Like
Shaq.
People that I've met before, or like people that like lofty goals.
Yeah, like who are those? I don't even know any of them.
Yeah.
Are there like lofty DJs?
So Laid Back Luke is an EDM DJ. He has a channel where he teaches tips as well. He tours all around the world, super famous. I like A-Track is probably my number one DJ. He's on the technical side. He produces music. He can also rock a party. So he's like the go-to guy for me as far as like the DJ I want to emulate, minus the whole making music thing.
Would you want to get to that sort of status?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
wow.
I have no desire to be famous.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I see what fame does to some people, man, and I look at that and I go, absolutely not. So
That's why you can handle fame.
Oh, no way.
I mean, seriously, it's kind of like the whole thing about if you worry about your kids being asshole brats, that's probably why your kids aren't going to be asshole brats, because you're so focused on that. If you're worried about what fame, I'm not telling you to be famous, but at the same token, like, what does he make on a show?
A-Track, I mean, anywhere from probably 25 to 50K, I imagine.
What do you?
It's just awesome. It's just fucking great. 25 or 50K. You know, it's funny because I talk about, I'm never going to be the person who ever says anybody's overpriced. Anybody's overpaid. I look at it going, I think it's great that, does A-Track, did he go to college?
Imagine not. He was famous at like 13.
We all are.
So was Paul, yeah.
I mean, that's just incredible to me. That it's awesome to me that you went to college, and I guarantee, you just admitted to it, you would never thought you were going to be a DJ. And it's possible for you to make $1 million a year being a DJ. I mean, that is a possibility. With your YouTube channel, as you grow it, as you do things like that, I mean, what happens when you get to, I follow that Marty Music guy, and he has 1.7 million subscribers. I gotta, like, what does a guy like that make off subscribers?
I heard it's like a sixth of a cent per view. A sixth of a cent per view. So my children watch these crazy.
So 600 views gets you $1.
I think so. Yeah. So like So like these crazy like Australian kids that get like 4 million. I think 3 to 4 million views get you $75,000 or something crazy like per episode.
How many views do you get per video you post?
My last one, and granted, did probably the best. So that's tricky because I have posts that, these are videos that I want to monetize and get views. And then I have videos where it's like, okay, this needs to be on my website. So like if a client's looking at me, they go, oh, he does that. Or, hey, I can send this to someone who I'm looking at and say, oh, this guy has done this before. He would be perfect for our nightclub, bar, charity, etc. So for the videos that I make that are, I want to monetize, the last one that I did, I believe, has 10,000 views last time I checked.
That's what I'm talking about.
When you say you want to monetize it, what do you mean by that?
So that means I can't put any other people's music in the video. So typically these are reviews, tips, anything where I'm not performing. Because I would love to be able to do like routines and stuff, but as soon as I put
someone
a Drake
else's
song,
music, you can't make money off of it.
I can't make money off it. That goes to them, which is fair, I think.
I think he's a natural in these videos too, Paul, the way he just
talks.
Well,
I'm clicking on one right now.
You were talking about a master class for photography. Look at that. I asked, who can you look up to? Because you ever thought about teaching? Like,
yeah, absolutely. That's what this
video.
Dude, you're a liar. You're a liar. You don't have 1,000 subscribers.
I mean,
he's a liar. He doesn't even know how many subscribers he has. He has 1,930. He has double the subscribers that he thought he had.
Really?
Is that you?
Is that really?
Yeah, that's him, DJ Axcess.
There you go. You have 1,930 subscribers.
I'll take it. Yeah, I appreciate all of them.
We have 87 or something more. 100, over 100, Paul.
Listen, we need help on that. We don't spend enough time thinking about that.
Teach people. That's what people are.
That's what we teach here, and we get our growth is getting better here, but we still, we got to talk about that. But either way,
I mean, YouTube is my favorite.
You have 17,000 views on. Is that you? No,
Yeah, that's me.
That's you. You have 17,000 views on that one.
That was the one I thought only had, what did I say?
10,000.
But yeah, that one was just helping people, and like you guys' podcast is gonna be, you guys, the production value. I mean, compared to me, man, the production value on this.
Well,
thing,
the only thing I was
might
going to
sound
say to
incredible.
you, and I don't want to be mean, your website needs to be revamped.
I just did it in March. No.
Uh-oh.
All right, we'll talk about it. I'm open to it.
You're too clean cut and professional to have that website.
See, okay, that's. I'm glad you said that though, because I operate in a lot of different spaces, and because I'm so clean cut, people can often look at my website and go, "Oh, that's the wedding DJ," and I don't want. I mean, I want that, but I don't want that. I want someone who
There's a
is
big
used to
difference between a
looking-
wedding DJ and like a.
nightclub, music festival, traveling guy. So I understand that that's my look, but I almost want to use the website as a way to say, yeah, he does that, but he also does these other things. So I hired someone who's very familiar with like doing artists that are catered towards nightclubs and things like that. So
Okay.
but I appreciate
But there's some
that.
grammar errors too in there, but that's not a big deal.
Oh my goodness.
We'll get to it later. But I've done the same thing. I've had the same thing happen on mine. I've had grammar errors on mine, and it's like, and I didn't think it was a big deal before, but now
it's a
I'm like,
big deal.
it's a big deal now. It's
Yeah,
like kind of
absolutely.
like, listen, I love this. I think I'm more impressed with the YouTube thing. 1,930 subscribers. Jesus
I guess
Christ,
I am too. Yeah.
that's pretty awesome.
Paul, you'll have to come up with a deal with DJ Axcess here about.
Helping us out though. That's what you need to do.
I will help you out in any way. Just tell me what grammar I've messed up on my website, and I'll help you guys in any way. That is like I'm sweating right now. I'm like, what? There's a grammar error? No.
The thing about our podcast is, not to switch subjects too much, but we made this podcast just because we wanted to teach people, right?
Same.
We don't hold anything back. It's not like I sit there and go, okay, I got a secret. I'm not going to tell you. No, we're just like, listen, we're talking.
Don't you hate that?
I don't like that because I think it's fake. I don't think it's real. There's no such thing as a secret. But to Steph's point, that's the reason why we're doing guests now. He's like, we got to do guests, and guests have been very popular. I get texts from people like, that was a great guest, etc. And I like that. But at the same token, I don't want to be that guy who's just teaching cheesy shit like, what is rental income? Well, when you do it, it's just like, no, it's like, I see your DJ. Like, if I look at your DJ equipment like reviews, that makes sense. It's like, okay, well, there's a lot of DJs out there who want to know, hey, like when you bought this set, did you look at anything?
No, I bought it early on. No.
Okay, but I guarantee there's a lot of reviews of this thing online.
But since I have watched tons of videos on how to work it right.
Yeah.
This is our podcast board he's pointing to, folks. But yeah.
But I look at these things thinking like, I think our podcast is fun. I think it's a great time. And I look at going, I wanted to get out more people because I know it'll lead to deals down the road. Yours will lead to deals down the road. You know what I mean? And I think from my perspective, for Mike, he's got a good YouTube following. I know that sounds crazy, but I think that alone justifies a higher price. Like, hey, I'm not just a local DJ.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah.
I'm a YouTube. Like, I got a YouTube. Listen, when you get to 10,000 subscribers, I mean, damn.
Do you think a wedding client or any client actually cares about how many YouTube followers you have?
It's not about, Mike, it's like chili. And we just had chili for lunch. The meat alone doesn't make the chili. The beans alone don't make the chili. It's not that. It's all these things together go like, this guy's legit. It's the website. It's this. It's that. All these things together. When you roll up into an event, what car are you driving?
Ford Explorer.
Clean?
Clean.
To me, that's the important part. It's like, not to be too flashy. Like if you pull up in like a Range Rover, it'd be like, really, bro? But you pull up in a Ford Explorer, nice car, professional. You have your stuff. All your equipment's professional. Like the thing I like about you getting the nice equipment is it shows people you are professional. That's what matters to me to pay that $29.50. Hey, you know why I'm $29.50? I've got this equipment. I've got this. I'm meeting with you 3 times. Do other DJs meet with you 3 times?
Depends on the price point. I'd say under 1,000, probably not. Over 1,000, I would hope so.
So it's kind of like car commercials. I used to joke. Until 15 years ago, maybe even today, people still said, we have air conditioning in our car. Well, no fucking shit. Everybody has air conditioning in their car. But they still said it. I've never heard it. When you said you'd meet with couples 3 times before the wedding, I'm like,
I know it shocked me too.
I'm like, really? 3 times?
Yeah, it shocked
I'm
me.
like, that seemed
too.
like a high number. I was like, damn, that's really like intimate. But you sit there and say, listen, here's why I'm this. I meet with you 3 times ahead of time. Not many DJs will do. No, DJs won't do that. I roll up in the best equipment. I spend a lot of money. How much money do you spend a year on equipment? Ballpark.
Oh, man, just this month I've spent $4,000.
Wow.
He's got to have
man.
all the badass shit.
But
bro.
you know what?
Love
I'd
it.
use that.
But I've
listen,
also sold. Okay, that's because I also sold a little
that
bit.
doesn't matter.
Damn.
The point, no, I mean in the sense of like you should be bragging about that, Mike.
Yes,
Be like,
yes,
listen,
yes,
I have
yes,
all
see.
the up-to-date equipment. I spend $4,000. I have, if I were you, why don't you have a backup laptop?
I do. I have 4.
I have 4 backup laptops. I have backup laptops. That way you don't have to worry about it. If something happens, you're going to be down for 4. Like, the DJ won't talk to you about, I have the backup plans. I have this. When you're selling that whole thing, oh, and by the way, I'm a really nice and charming guy.
You want to the craziest part,
You know
Paul,
what?
is
You know
the
what I'm-
craziest part. And you could
Go
test
ahead.
this, man. I'm ready to at any wedding meeting. I'm ready to talk about all that stuff. My light show, like how I
What?
do the things. But they don't care. All they say is,
They
"Hey,
do.
we saw you at this and such."
Great,
We-
my price is $29.50. Holy cow, it's a lot. Here's why it's a lot.
Okay. Maybe so.
Then
there-
you go into
I
that.
see what
Here's
you're
where
saying.
it's a lot. I understand it's a lot, but here's why it's a lot.
I do like that term. I understand. It shows empathy. Like I've been starting
And
to do
it's
this. Listen,
true.
I know
Absolutely,
this
yeah.
is a lot of money, but I'll tell you what you can get for this. And
And when
Man.
you roll up and you sit there and you say, listen, and if you don't think I was worth more at the end of the event, I'll write you $1,000 check. You just tell me it's done.
you don't get that often.
What's that?
That they don't think you're worth what you're worth.
And nobody's going to say that on their wedding day.
But regardless, I mean, you got to see this guy in action.
Exactly. That's the point.
That's the part that scares me about it. It's like I was on board, and then when you said that like no one does that on the wedding day, I'm like, oh man, that's kind of gaming the system.
Do you know who Howard? But it's not gaming the system. It's just knowing your number. It's knowing that Howard Hanna, the real estate office, they have a money back guarantee. You buy your house, they don't like it, they'll give you your money back. Have I ever inquired about it? No, but I always look and go, hey, it's a pretty good thing. It sounds like a ploy. It's not a ploy. It's just sitting there. It's like, would you give somebody $1,000 if they called you and said, hey, I didn't think you were worth it?
Absolutely.
Then it's not a ploy.
Okay.
How is that a ploy then?
Yeah.
I wanted to run a money back guarantee for Casa Sofia and Castillo Del Mar. Some people were a little apprehensive, but I go, listen, if somebody really wants to be an asshole and tell me the trip wasn't awesome, I will gladly give their money back. Gladly. I don't care. Just here's your money back. There you go. I still want to run that guarantee because that's how confident I am they're going to love the trip. It's going to be the best trip of their life.
What would his revenue go up? What?
I don't know. Do the calculation. You
50.
you're doing 50 weddings a year at $3,000, 150 grand.
Yeah, 150. Yeah, 50. Oof.
So don't you have a PhD in something?
I was just like, no, listen. I knew as soon as I said it, but I'm just saying like
There's his, by the way,
revenue versus maybe non-signings.
That $1,000 extra per event. Do you do the calculation there? What that is? He spent $4,000 a month on equipment. There it is. Every single month. You spend $4,000 a month every single month?
Not every single month.
What do you spend in a year? 20?
More.
30?
Probably close to that.
Okay, there it is, and you have 20 grand left over. Yeah. All your equipment's free and 20 grand left over.
I'd be excited to have Mike back on in the future.
I love this
Let's
stuff,
book
man.
him now for 6 months from now, and if I hear anything less than $29.50, I will throw this table at you.
All right, today I'm $24.50. We'll see if he can make it to $29.50. I gotta see how it feels first, man.
It's a good negotiation.
He's not negotiating with me.
Bethy, what do you think? $29.50 for Mike for a DJ?
Worth it.
Right?
Bethy just said it. Go write down all the things you'll say to somebody is about why you're. And it can't be.
You know what else? I thought of a 2-column standard cheesy DJ versus Mike, and you're going to get microphones that don't break.
Can I make a comment?
Charisma and
A
introduction.
voice that doesn't sound like a strip club voice. That is my biggest pet peeve. When I go to a wedding, the guy's like, and welcome now to the stage, the bride. I'm like, are we in a strip club welcoming Diamond to the floor and get your I mean, literally, I'm just like, this is terrible. And these cheesy, like, roided out guys, it's terrible.
Like lights that move. I can't even say, man. It's gonna be. Listen, so I'll make the commercial myself. If you're getting a wedding, you have to book this guy. Beth and I don't refer anybody else. I don't even know the names of any DJs. This is the man that's gonna absolutely rock your show. Old people are dancing, young people are dancing. He gets them all on and rocking. It's the smoothest thing ever. I could go on forever, right, Bethy? I could go on forever.
When he gets his $24.50 and $29.50, my 40th birthday is paid for for free.
Absolutely.
Easy.
I do want him at your birthday party.
100%. 40th birthday.
And Seth, I want a commitment now that Beth's here. I want a commitment that the Christmas party is on.
You have the basement for it. You have the basement
this
for
is what
the
we
party.
planned for. I heard. Hey, this is what you told me about the house. It's the perfect house. The perfect house has a party space.
Well, that's true, Beth.
The basement is perfect. You got the bar there. You got everything. It is perfect.
Okay.
Well, we got to plan this thing, though, because I have a couple of things to do in December.
We normally do them every other year, Mike.
Oh, you do? Is every other year thing?
So this is an off year for us.
It's probably a good off year for you.
Well, we need some time to prepare. I mean, so.
This has been our longest podcast.
Ever.
Ever.
I imagined it would be.
Wow. Well, okay, Paul. Thank you for your insight.
Whatever.
No, seriously, man. Thank you.
Free 40th birthday DJ. That's all I care about.
Hey,
Listen.
man.
When I literally heard the DJ thing, I was like, oh, DJ, a shitty DJ for a wedding is gonna be $1,000, $1,500. A good one's gonna be $3,000. That's what I thought. And literally, that's what I was thinking to myself. And I'm not just saying that because I wanted to get you to $3,000. I thought to myself, okay, isn't a live band actually $3,000?
Oh, live bands are 6
5,
or 7.
Yeah,
5, 6, 7.
minimum.
What are we doing here, Seth? This is what we need to do. We all three need a partner. He's going to do the DJ. Then we're going to come in with the live
band.
music.
Oh, I
and then
see.
he takes his break. Then we do it. God.
Yeah, but go ahead and listen back to the podcast where you sang the last time. And we'll...
I'm not the singer here, buddy.
Mike, you can find Mike at DJ Axcess Music. That's Access, AXCES. CSS, yep. DJ Axcess Music on Instagram, or on Facebook, you're just DJ Axcess?
Nope. And everything, all platforms, DJ Axcess Music.
Except for the website, which is DJAccess.com.
Correct. Thank you.
Yeah. You will be in great hands hiring this cat.
If you guys
Please do.
have any questions about DJing or my business or something you heard me say on the podcast, hey Mike, please elaborate on that. Reach out to me. I answer every comment on YouTube. Yep, every comment on YouTube I respond to. My Instagram, same thing. And then try not to email me because I try to keep that as professional as possible. But if you have a question there, I'll definitely answer it.
Thanks for joining us, man. I can't
thank you so much for man. When you mentioned this, I've been bugging you about it forever. So thank you so much for having me.
Learnfromus.com. Follow us on YouTube. Love you guys.